wouldn't be surprised if they played pretty well on Thursday against the Rams. Should the Vikings have won? Maybe not. Could the Vikings have won? Absolutely. How could the Vikings have won? Well, let's look at the big turning point in the game. The Vikings defense, the #1 ranked Vikings defense, they were offensive on the first 2 drives, gave up 2 touchdowns to the Rams, very easily, of course. So with the Vikings down 14-10, Cousins takes the Vikings 75 yards in 3 plays for a touchdown, 17-14 lead. Hey, we got ourselves a shootout. The Vikings defense shows some life after that. On 2nd down, they get huge pressure on Goff. And then on 3rd down, Goff craps his pants, misses an open receiver, and Xavier Rhodes doesn't get a penalty to keep the drive alive. It's a miracle. So you get the ball back. You're up 17-14. You'd be up 21-14 if the refs hadn't mistakenly ruled Adam Thielen down on a pass. So basically the Rams secondary can't stop you. Should have 3 touchdowns in 3 possessions through the air. With no running game, they can't stop your passing game. Let's also look at from the Rams' perspective, okay? What do you think the Rams want you to do on this possession? Their secondary's in tatters. They got the defensive player of the year in the middle of their defensive line, and you have the worst running game in the NFL. What do the Rams want you to do now? Well, I would say the Rams, on 1st and 10, the Rams are probably praying that you run right up the middle. And you do. On 2nd down, I'm guessing they are praying you run right up the middle. And, gee, you set up 3rd and long. Big surprise. So 3rd long, you have no choice but to pass. I think they want you to do play action, bootleg, or something that's going to maybe make it harder for them to defend. They want you to do a straight drop back, get pressure, and have to throw the ball away. And that's what happened. So instead of coming out throwing and probably getting another touchdown, going up 24-14, and potentially giving your defense some wind at its back. Because if your defense comes out there with a 10-point lead, your defense sees that the offense is not going to be stopped all game, the defense is probably going to play a little better, aside from Xavier Rhodes. But instead, you go in the shell, you go in your Mike Zimmer, I'm going to run the ball and control the clock, even though your offense scored 21 points and controlled the clock by throwing the whole 1st quarter. They controlled the clock through their passing game. The Rams only got 1 possession in the 1st quarter because the Vikings were throwing the ball successfully. You can control the clock with the passing game. So anyway, the Vikings punt the ball away up 17-14. We know what's going to happen here. Because what happened right after that 3 and out? Trey Waynes happened. And they never trailed after that. That was the game.
All right, that's it. That's the game. You lose.
Mike Zimmer gave up the initiative there. That is what he does. And that is why you can't win with him. There's really one player who's the main reason they lost. That's my M.W.P, most worthless player, Xavier Rhodes. Okay, Xavier Rhodes is the whole reason I started making these videos again after 5 years, because I am so sick of him being called an all-pro and hearing how great he is. He's terrible. I hate everything about how he plays the game. He holds on every play. So if they wanted to, they could call holding on him on every play. And he showed it completely in this game. Let's look at the start of the game. Okay, the Vikings miraculously start at their own 25-yard line because the Rams are too dumb to let Hughes try to return it. And they're playing in front of a lot of their own fans.
A ton of Viking fans in attendance here in LA.
The offense marches down and scores a touchdown. Things are going so well that Laquan 316 actually signals 1st down correctly. Like they actually have a 1st down. He signals. Of course, he isn't sure. He points one way and then he points another way and then he points again and then he points. Clearly, he's not sure. He's looking for affirmation. And so the Vikings defense, the #1 ranked Vikings defense has a 7-0 lead. And the defense actually comes out and they're playing okay. St. Louis in a 3rd and long, and what happens? Well, Xavier Rhodes, all-pro Xavier Rhodes, just kind of loafs after the receiver. That's all-pro coverage, all-pro effort. Does he think he's just supposed to stay within 5 yards? Is that the role of a cornerback to him? The Vikings get him in another 3rd down, and this time they stop him, and 1st-round pick Mike Hughes actually covers the guy well, and so they're going to force a punt up 7-0. Oh wait, there's a penalty flag. Oh jeez. It better not be on Rhodes. It better not be.
Holding. Defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
It's on Rhodes! That idiot! And then the Rams score a touchdown, and you just killed your chance of, playing with a lead. But Xavier Rhodes was not done, because then in the second quarter, he got another penalty. Oh wait, he got 2 penalties on the same play. He kicks the flag, gets unsportsmanlike conduct, and gee, what happens the next play? We give up a touchdown. Trey Waynes. But it's Xavier Rhodes. That lack of discipline permeates that whole defense. And then, of course, late in the game, once he's really starting to suck, he's got to act injured.
He had Xavier Rhodes turned all around. Oh, we saw Rhodes go down.
Oh, my arm. It's broken.
And when the team really needs him, he's not there.
Xavier Rhodes on the bench, not out there on 3rd down and 10. And Foles able to get away and throw. Pass is caught.
This is your all-pro. Xavier Rhodes is a cancer on this team. He is the cancer. He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone immediately. And I know he's not going to be gone, but you got to get rid of this guy. He screws up this whole team with his play. The Vikings win if they have anybody else playing in his place. There's also my M.P.P. That would be my most pathetic player. And I say this with a certain degree of sympathy for the guy, Anthony Barr. It really looks like Mike Zimmer is being blackmailed into making Anthony Barr look bad. I gotta believe it's Aaron Rodgers behind this. Like, Aaron Rodgers must have naked pictures of Mike Zimmer or something, because they put Barr in these impossible situations all game. Covering wide receivers. I mean, of course he can't cover a wide receiver. I mean, he's a linebacker. Do you think, like, Hall of Fame linebackers like Mike Singletary or Ray Lewis could cover wide receivers even in their day? Ray Lewis might, because he's got the extra reach, with the knife, but Mike Singletary couldn't. I mean, you can't expect a linebacker to do it, so why are you putting a linebacker in this position? It reminded me of the first play of I think it was a 1999 playoff game, Vikings-Rams, greatest show on turf, where they put Dwayne Rudd on, I think, Isaac Bruce. This is just stupid. This is a stupid scheme, stupid coaching.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
I think it shows what's wrong with the defense. There's just no leadership. There's nobody taking ownership. You'd think, like, the middle linebacker Barr would be a leader. He's not. You'd think Harrison Smith, Hall of Famer Harrison Smith, would be a leader. He's not. There's just nobody taking charge. I heard somebody say they miss B-Rob. They miss Brian Robinson's leadership. If you miss Brian Robinson's leadership, that tells you all you need to know about the lack of leadership, okay? You can't have a leader be a guy who's terrible, who only gets meaningless sacks and only wants to get a sack so he can do a stupid sack celebration where he does this. You need a guy who's actually good to be a leader. You need a Mike Singletary, a Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. These are the guys you need as your leaders. They don't have that. They don't have anything. They just got a bunch of guys who are praying the ball doesn't come their way. They're all scared to be involved in the play. They're all hoping somebody else will make the play. Like Waynes, I don't get what's going on there. Like, one of those touchdowns, he could have made a play on the ball. He's looking at the ball. He's close to the receiver. He could have made a play on the ball, but what does he do? He just turns away from the ball and lets the guy catch it. Reach your hand out, lay out. You probably could have intercepted it. What are you doing? It's like they're playing hot potato and the receivers are the potato. I mean, just they drop back into zone coverage, and I think they think you drop into a zone and you just stand in a spot completely independent of where the receivers are.
Zone coverage, and the linebackers, they just lose Cooper Kupp. You're in the underneath coverage as a linebacker and someone comes into your area, you got to go pick them up. You don't just stand there where nobody is.
And the whole thing about them not being able to recover fumbles, it's like jump on it. There's like 20 Vikings. They can't get the ball. And that first game against San Francisco, they got all those turnovers. And I just knew, I'm like, oh, that's an aberration. This defense, number 1 ranked defense, cannot force turnovers. They don't put any pressure on the offense. You need them to make that big play, that big stop. They can't do it.
From the 33, Stafford steps up. No timeouts remaining.
And if they can't force turnovers, they suck. Number 1, sucky defense, but I especially like Zimmer's quote at halftime.
He told his defense, stay on your guys.
Stay on your guys. In 4th grade, okay, signed up for the town soccer team, and there was no coach. None of the parents volunteered to coach. So my dad, he didn't want to coach because he doesn't know soccer. He doesn't know anything about soccer. He's like, I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to coach. And we were so horrible. We scored 1 goal the whole year. And the only reason we scored that goal is because some rich kid from North Oaks joined the team mid-season and scored it. I bring that up because one thing my dad would say is, hey, stay with your guy. That was the one thing he knew. Apparently, Mike Zimmer, his level of strategy and coaching is at the same level as my dad, whose soccer team scored 1 goal all year. Now, of course, it's soccer, so scoring 1 goal the whole year is probably above average. Mike Zimmer, it's literally like he has no... The synapses aren't even working. There's just nothing there. Nothing working. Stay with your guys. They don't know who their guys are, Mike. I hate to say it. Who on this defense is good? Like, who do you keep? Sorry, let me go ahead. Who on this #1 defense do you keep? Like, I look at there's so many guys who I think are terrible. Rhodes, hate him. Wayne's worthless. Alexander, worthless. Sendejo, worthless. Harrison Smith, so overrated. You see that play where he lets Gurley, the offensive player of the year, just go? Like, he doesn't have any, he can't sense that it's a screen at all. He just runs right by Gurley. They throw it over him. Big play. And who runs him down? Who runs Gurley down? Defensive lineman Daniil Hunter. The only guy I'm sure I would keep on this defense. I probably keep Linval Joseph and Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes showed some burst. He showed some playmaking ability, forced the fumble. Those are the only guys, you know. Maybe Kendricks. I don't think he's very good, but at least I think he cares. This game was a lot like the Vikings-Redskins game last year, which ended 38-30, almost the exact same score. In fact, like, this year's Vikings are a lot like last year's Reds, because you got Kirk Cousins at quarterback. They're putting up a lot of passing yards, many of them garbage. Terrible defense. It's terrible #1 ranked defense, sorry. And not winning. That's the Redskins under Kirk Cousins. So great. You have become the Washington Redskins. Unfortunately, Kirk Cousins he just doesn't have it, you know. He doesn't have that thing that Tom Brady has or Aaron Rodgers have, where they just don't turn the ball over. He is so prone to turning it over. He drops back in the pocket and doesn't step up. He just stands there. Tons of passes get batted up into the air. Throws a beautiful pass. You know, I love watching him throw those passes.
Yeah, you see a perfectly thrown ball once again by Kirk Cousins. Marcus Peters is in a good position. He's thinking there's no way.
But he is gonna make mistakes. That is a big problem. So he's the type of guy you need a good defense with. But we don't. So we're just not going to be that good. Thing is, what I would suggest is if Griffin doesn't come back, they give his number to Cousins. You know, I know it's not really allowed for quarterbacks to wear numbers in the 90s, but 97 is perfect for Cousins because 9 and 7, that's probably the best you can hope with Kirk Cousins at your quarterback.
Cousins has his arm hit. Ball is out. Hit by John Franklin Myers. Rams say they have it. Right now, it's ruled a fumble.